What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I am going to be discussing the ColourPop Peach Collection. I am so excited to share this video with you guys. I got two items from the Peach Collection with ColourPop. I got this blush, Fresh and Peachy. This retails for $8. It is a really good pan size for a blush. I've been on a low buy since the start of the new year, and I decided to treat myself to a new blush because if you've been with me, you sat through my decluttering series, but I decluttered all my makeup almost a year ago, and I only kept like 2 blushes, so I figured it was time to treat myself to a new one. I love peachy tones. I'm trying to keep my eye on like a spider over there, so don't mind me if I keep looking in that direction. I also decided to get this eyeshadow palette because, again, I really do like peachy tones. And looking at my collection, I don't really have a whole lot of eyeshadows with peachy tones in them, so I was like, all about this. This retails for $12. Both of them you get a really, like the mirror is like the entire pan size. We have 4 shimmers, 5 mattes, you can kind of see. I use every single color in this palette except for 2, but I do swatch them, so. In this video, I am going to show you how I got today's makeup look, along with my thoughts along the way, if I think that this is worth your money. All in all, this, I think total is like $22 with shipping and everything. My only complaint is that it took about 5 days to process my order and then like another 3 days for it to come. So I felt like I was waiting forever because does anybody else feel like Amazon Prime has completely spoiled us because we're like used to getting our stuff in 2 days? Anything longer, I feel like we're all just like, TikTok. So yes, I said I've been rusty with filming. I've been a little bit absent. I'm going to be doing a get ready with me with more of a work wearable look, a more neutral everyday look, because this is a little bit bright. This may be a little bit above and beyond for some people, but I will be doing a more neutral, casual eyewear with this palette, and I'll be doing that in a get ready with me form, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Turn on the notification bell so you can be notified, and if you are normally here for my Bachelor in Paradise videos, hold tight, those are coming out too. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, what have you guys tried from ColourPop? Without further ado, the super long intro because I'm acting like I'm a noob at YouTube today. Let's roll into it. First, I'm starting off with the shade Perky, and I'm going to pop this into my crease. It looks a little bit more brownie rose in the pan, and it's showing up that way on camera, but it looks pretty like a peachy in real life. I'm just taking a Morphe M433 and I'm just building that up into the crease and then lightly buffing out the edges. I'm not really familiar with the brand. Like, I'm familiar from seeing them all over YouTube and seeing a bunch of videos. I feel like I need to eat, so my brain is completely frazzled. Seeing a bunch of YouTubers use the products. However, my only experience with the brand was about 4 years ago when Kylie lip kits came out and they were the dupes for it, the ultra matte lips. I have tried those, I like those. And I got their Super Shock Shadow when they did the collab with the LA Shelter. So that's really my only experience, so I was excited to dive in. I'm really happy that they're starting to come out more into Ulta. I wish like their full line was in Ulta because I'm more inclined to buy a makeup product if I can see it in person, because sometimes, as we'll see as this video goes on, cameras can be a little bit deceiving with color payoff. Now I'm taking the same brush and I'm dipping into Centerfold, which is the brightest shade in this palette. And I am just going to start working on putting this all over the lid, and I'm going to build it up into the crease. I am having to dip into this quite a few times, but I'm sure that's just because It's more of a pressed pigment because it is so bright than it is just like a regular loose shadow. So just know that when you're working with the brighter the eyeshadow, the more difficult they tend to be to work with. So just have patience and know that you may have to dip in a few more times than you would like a neutral shade. One thing that I will say is that this is looking a lot more neutral, a lot more boring on camera. In person, it's really a beautiful, bright neon peachy color. So I'm kind of sad the camera isn't really picking it up. I mean, maybe editing it back, I'll be like, what are you talking about? It's showing up. But on my monitor, filming right now, it just isn't as bright as it could be. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Darlin and I'm going to use this to blend out the edges. Now when it comes to using this shade and blending out the edges, I'm just holding my brush as far away as possible and just using really light motions. And then I'm also going to use this color to kind of give me a little bit of a winged out shape. I haven't done that in a while. I am now picking up a Morphe M506 and I'm taking the shade Half Baked, tapping off the extra because it seems like it's a little bit intense, and I'm just using this to darken up the outer corner. So again, I'm using really light pressure and I'm kind of doing like a little bit of like a scratching motion just to build up that outer V. And I really don't want to bring this in far at all because I don't want to lose the brightness from the other colors. So interesting to me like how this is like so brown in my monitor right now, because in person I'm like, oh my god, this looks so pretty and so nice. But just to give you an idea of the palette so far, Perky, which was the first color that we used, was a little bit messy and there's some kickback. I would say like that's a little bit more of a normal amount. However, when I dipped into Half Baked, I barely tapped my brush in there and it was pretty messy. So just keep that in mind, and basically as long as I'm not getting fallout on my face, which I don't see that I have any right now, it's not an issue for me. But what this means is that when you dip into your brush, you just want to make sure that you're tapping it off so you are getting that excess shadow off, because if not, you're going to have too much pigment and you will get fallout. So it's not necessarily an end-all be-all that there's fallout, it's just a way to go about it. I feel like for the longest time, everyone was like, fallout is bad in palettes, but it's part of life. I kind of love this as a matte look, but I have to play with these shimmers. So I'm going to start layering Get Even, and then I'm going to be putting Ready or Yacht in the inner corner probably to highlight. I know you guys are probably wanting me to go into Hungry Ghost, which is the glitter shade, so I'll just do a swatch, and this is very, very chunky, very messy. I would recommend having a glitter glue to apply this. But that is pretty dang gorgeous. That glitter shade is very, very loosely packed, so something like NYX glitter glue or any kind of tacky base or wet base will help have this stick without creating a mess. I do like this NYX base, it's really affordable, so again, you're not having to spend a lot of money. I'm sure ColourPop has something similar. So first we're gonna try these pigments out with the brush. This is, I don't know because it's worn off, but let's just see how this applies. I do like to go pretty high up into my crease. This is kind of a way of doing like a trick cut crease without digging out your concealer and carving anything out. With some shimmers, you can get away with just doing it. I am getting some fallout with this, even though I'm patting lightly. Again, this is a pretty crumbly eyeshadow. So just make sure that you're picking up a little bit at a time and that you're just being careful. Instead of swiping, I'm patting, because if I swipe, I'm going to get more fallout and more of a mess on my face. I already primed my face, so I really don't want to clean it off and do that over again. So this is a finger swatch of the shimmer. I know you guys can't really see this, and I don't really like doing swatches. So it just matters how the product applies. I would say with my experience with this, it is applying about the same with a brush as it would my finger. All right, so I'm going to pause here, do the rest of my face, and then we can come back to add shimmer to the brows, shimmer to the inner corner, and fill out the lower lash line. So now I am just taking this brush right here, and I am just going to take the darkest color, Half Baked, put that on my lash line. This is a Morphe M432, just to have some kind of depth in the lash line. I have not been into eyeliner like at all the last couple months, like pretty much I think the whole year. I just like the softness of putting a dark shadow on the lash line to make the lash line look a little bit thicker without it being too hard, without the harshness of a liquid liner. So if you've tried ColourPop before, let me know in the comments down below. Is it normal for their eyeshadows to be like really powdery and really loose, or is this a little bit odd for them? I would love to know. I'm not really familiar with their formula. So for the lower lash line, I want to dig into some colors that we haven't used yet. I'm going to take Ochre because it is the only matte that I haven't used in this palette yet, and I'm going to pack that under my lash line with an E36. I'm going to go back to this 506 and I'm going to take the lightest shade Darlin and blend this out. I really like taking a light transition shade like this, or like the lightest color in the palette, to blend out the lower lash line because you don't have any harsh marks and it just kind of melts right into where the concealer is. I am going to go back into that darkest color with the same brush and pack that on my lower lash line. I wish that there was maybe a little darker of a brown in here. If I was just doing this just to do my makeup, I would definitely reach for a darker brown in a different palette, but I'm trying to keep this all one palette. Ready or Yacht, this is the lightest shimmer in this palette. I'm gonna pick it up with the brush. We didn't get to glaze it in this tutorial, so I'm just gonna do a really quick finger swatch so you can see what this color looks like. This is like so different in the pan. It looks so much darker in real life. Hello? Do we want to focus? You can kind of see the shimmer right there. It's a little bit of a taupey peach is how I would describe it. But let's get Ready or Yacht and just kind of press this up into the inner corner highlight. That was a lot more intense than I was expecting. Okay, that's a lot. Whenever I go overboard, I just take like a really big, clean, fluffy brush like this to kind of soften things out. So I'm gonna take a different E36 and just concentrate this more on the inner corner. So that's really bright and pretty. I think it's a little too peachy for brow bone highlight, at least for me it is. All right, I will zoom you out and we will see how the blush looks and finish this look off. All right, my hair is a hot mess because I am going to wash it when I shower later, but let's give this blush a go. I got this in the shade Fresh and Peach. I love me a good peachy blush. My go-to has been this Tarte Party Blush for about the past 2 years, so I thought it was time to pick myself up something new. Again, I haven't used ColourPop's blushes. I think I may have gone in a little bit too hard. I'm just so used with the Tarte blushes, you really have to like swirl your brush around in there to get the pigment. Oh yeah, that's really freaking pigmented. Holy moly. I'm kind of just bring this around my whole face. Wow, okay. So that is some blush. Looks a lot more intense in person. So now I have to match the intensity on this side. Wow. It's super pretty though. That is so pretty. Wow. By the way, I'm having a bad eyebrow day, so let's not talk about that. All right, this isn't ColourPop, but it is a new product. I got a Jeffree Star highlighter. This is in the shade Princess Cut. I think it goes kind of well. By the way, like, hello, these are huge. With the peachiness of this look. So I am going to go ahead and put some on just so you guys can see what it looks like. It's pink, but it's definitely a subtle pink, and it's blending so nicely into this blush. It just kind of all looks like one. Like, I love that. That is just so stunning. And then I am going to take a wee bit of this and pop it on my brow bone, just because I felt the lightest shade in the peach palette wasn't light enough for a brow bone highlight. Ooh, I am kind of loving this look. So I'm gonna add some mascara and be back. Alright, so we have finished the makeup look. If you are curious about my lips, I just took my Sansa lipstick by Game of Thrones. See how it's like a perfect like peachy color matches. And then I took the shade Juicy by KKW and lip gloss, put it on top. And I'm really digging, this is kind of like a monochromatic look. I mean, even though it's like a neutral monochromatic look, I'm still pretty excited about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite thing from ColourPop? What is something that I'm missing out on that I need in my collection that you are absolutely in love with? Their new collab with Kathleen Lights looks like hot fire, so I'm like really intrigued by that and tempted to kind of get it. So anyways, before you head out today, be sure to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.